Welcome back to the Sovereign Ratio. My goal on this channel is simply to give my audience the best shot at probabilities and data and charts and indicators that they can possibly have to make their own decisions based off of the information that I'm presenting. Now, will I have a bias on one direction or the other? Most of the time, yes. But the real issue that I have is with influencers that have a bias one direction and one direction only. And they manipulate their audience into doing really ridiculous things like buying into resistance or taking a path of low probabilities. And whenever you get into a bandwagon approach or a mindset that says up only or down only, that's not healthy, it's not realistic, and you should never buy into it. Today, we're going to look at some real examples, real data, kind of cross some boundaries here, and look at things from a Twitter chart. Here's an example that you can see right here. I've been blocked for simply telling someone that they're giving their audience the worst probabilities possible. And we're going to look into that. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave me a comment below. So I'm not going to state this account's name, but because it's on the screen, you can see it for yourself. This account has over 100,000 followers on Twitter and has been posting nothing but bullish charts for the last several months. Now, some of those charts did indicate small retraces, but the real issue that I have is that the 618 golden rejection has happened 3 out of 3 times. And anything other than that has happened 0 out of 3 times. What this account is suggesting is that Bitcoin was going to blow right through the 618 rejection, no problem, keep on moving, and just rocket up to new all-time highs. Now, from a mathematical perspective, the probabilities of that are 0 out of 3. So it's 0%. Now, 0% is not always equal. So if it was 0 out of 4, then to me, that's a little bit more weighted in its favor. If it's 0 out of 5, as it continues going on, that 0 becomes more powerful. Now, because it's 0 out of 3, I put a little less emphasis on it from a mathematical perspective, but it's still 0. So 3 out of 3 times, Bitcoin has rejected from the golden 618 rejection. It's just what's happened in the past, and as a 3 out of 3 probability, that's the probability that I want to take going forward. But this account has been nothing but posting bullish videos and bullish TA for the last several months, and then they started to whine whenever Bitcoin price rejected off the golden 618, and they started telling, oh, I can't believe that people are saying this about me. I have a long-term view. You know, people need to chill out, relax, or whatever. So they try to numb the situation that's actually occurring, which is that they were wrong. People with big egos will do anything to prove to the world that they're not wrong. In this particular case, he was wrong. So I replied to his really shitty post and basically said, dude, I don't care if you're right or you're wrong. What I care about is that you're presenting your audience with the worst probabilities that you possibly can because of your extreme bias. And what that led to was you're blocked. And what that led to for me was creating a video, basically crossing some boundaries and calling out all of these influencers that are literally leading you down a path that is not in your best interest. Now, while the previous account that I had on the screen has a little bit softer delivery, now we're going to look at one that has a really harsh delivery that quite frankly really pisses me off every time I see it. And I'm going to call him out right here, right now. This is Mike Alfred. He's this guy that likes to play guitar and post pictures of it and showing him drinking expensive wine that he probably got by making you his exit liquidity. But at the end of the day, he constantly tries to make everybody on Twitter feel like shit about themselves because they sell their Bitcoin and they make a decision to exit their position. If you look at this right here, it says, trading is hard. Do not recommend it. Get long, stay long. That's not what you should be saying to your entire audience of hundreds of thousands of people whenever Bitcoin is headed into programmed resistance that has failed 3 out of 3 times. And then right below that, he's reposted something from Bitquant that says, this channel will only close when the final third touches, blah, blah, blah. The good news is that Bitcoin will reach a new all-time high before the halving. Something that has never happened, something that Bitquant cannot prove, and something that is statistically improbable. Now, could it happen? Yes, there's a probability for everything. But the probability right now for that scenario happening is 0 out of 3. Here's another one. LOL, $40,000 Bitcoin and kid traders were crying to my feed literally a few hours ago. This is why you shouldn't get too cute with BTC. Buy, hold, prosper, simple. That's not how trading works. Like, there are so many opportunities in the last year alone to maximize your portfolio and gain 20%. Now, if you are having a long-term mindset and you just want to buy a Bitcoin and hold on to it for 10 years and you're cool with that, that's fine. That's a good strategy. The problem is that people like this try to make other people feel like crap for actually wanting to maximize their profits and make reasonable trades. That is not for everybody, and for shaming people on Twitter for having that mindset and trying to capitalize on these dips, that is absolutely insane, and I can't stand for it. This is not an influencer that's leading their audience down the wrong direction. When I see an influencer like this, I literally just think of a monkey flinging like Bitcoin colored poop at the wall. It makes no sense, and he's just trying to be stupid and manipulative to everybody that listens. Now, this next person has an entire community behind him and an entire channel of other people that also make videos. This is probably the worst person on the entire channel, but I will say that all of them are bad, with the exception of one person that I will call out that is actually good, which is Kyle Dukes. But everybody else on this channel, you can't trust a single thing that they say. If you look at their thumbnails, one day it's like the market's gonna tank. The next day it's you have 24 hours to buy. The next day it's, oh, things look bad. Then the next day it's like, oh, now's the time to buy. They never make a decision, and they constantly manipulate their audience to both buy altcoins that they're actually getting paid to shill, and they're also telling their audience to do this and that, buy and sell, buy and sell. And in those times, they're doing the opposite of what they're saying and reaping the benefits from making you their entry and exit liquidity. This guy right here, I have seen him tell his audience to buy into direct resistance so many times. I don't know how somebody hasn't done something to prevent this from happening, because it's absolutely insane the amount of manipulation that goes on. In fact, I made a video about it like 6 or 8 months ago where I showed a chart where every single one of his daily calls was a failure. It would be like altcoins going to the moon, price went down. This coin going to the moon, price went down. Oh my gosh, you have to buy right now, price went down. It's insane. Like, I can't imagine a new person in crypto that this is their first cycle. Actually, I can, because I've been there. But they continue to follow what these influencers are saying, and they lose money every day. They say buy, and then they lose 5%. And then they say buy again, and they lose 5%. It's insane, and it should not be allowed. In fact, I've pulled up a still of the video I made about this particular influencer much earlier in 2023. Every single one of those blue arrows was a bullish call on Twitter, or a bullish YouTube thumbnail, or a bullish YouTube narrative in general. Every single one of those calls ended up just being right into resistance. Now, some days they may have gone up 5% and then right back down, but 5% is not what we're in crypto for. That's an average Tuesday. Like, this guy was saying, oh, this is going to go to the moon, it's going to gain 200–300%. Every single one of these calls was telling you to buy. If you would have bought every single one of these calls, directly after that, you would have seen like a 50–70% retracement on that alt. This dude has no idea what he's talking about, nor do most people who are telling you to buy into resistance or just giving you a completely bullish scenario or a completely bearish scenario. You have to be so careful with who you listen to. I've been guilty of it myself. I've listened to other people on YouTube that I won't name, but here in a minute I will show you some of their pictures, and you can look at the picture and know yourself who it is. But you have got to be so careful with who you follow. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you some good people to follow that really give good information. Here is big channel number 1. This channel has never had a bearish day in all of crypto. Now, again, if you're looking for a very long-term view and you're looking to buy a Bitcoin today and you don't care what happens for 10 years, then this might be the channel for you. But if you're looking to capitalize in any way off of bull run highs and bear market lows, this is not the channel for you, because every single day that Bitcoin goes down after a bull market top, this person will tell you to buy. Every single day, buy, 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 buy. Oh, Bitcoin's going to rebound tomorrow. Bitcoin's going to rebound tomorrow. It is insane. Now, if you just want somebody to listen to, you're bored, you're lonely, whatever, and you just want to hear a guy with a decent voice, he's actually a nice guy. That's the thing. It's his information that is awful. If you just want somebody to listen to, then go right ahead. If you have a super, super long-term view and you don't care about maximizing on 80 and 90% returns, then go right ahead. But if you want anything to do with maximizing your returns, this is not the person to listen to. This next account is another one that now has 2 channels, and they are probably the most manipulative crypto influencer and crypto influencing channel that exists today. One day it'll be buy, the next day it'll be sell, the next day it'll be up 30%, the next day it'll be going to the floor. It's you never know. It's constant manipulation, constant altcoin shilling, and constant misleading the audience into doing the exact opposite of what they're going to do. Let me tell you this. This account opens live trades all the time, and they show their longs and they show their shorts, but this person has so much money. The trades that they're showing you on stream are very small in comparison to their net worth. They could easily have a counter opposing trade. Like if they're in a 10x long for $100,000, they could easily on another platform have like a $10 million short open because this person has that much money. And this $100,000 trade looks like it's going up and you get excited about it and you're like, oh, I should join them in their long or whatever. What you don't know is that on the other end, this person probably has a short open and they're getting ready to just take so much money from you. It's ridiculous. Now, can I prove that? No. But what I can tell you is that if you just simply look at their thumbnails, it's straight manipulation. It's buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell every day. Nobody really knows what's going on. They're capitalizing on what you want. Right? So people will tend to give you what you want, not what you need. Everybody wants crypto to go up. Everybody wants crypto to go to the moon. So the more they tell you that crypto is going to go to the moon, the more you're going to believe in them and the more that you feel that you have camaraderie with them. You don't need to hear what you want to hear. You need to hear what the truth is or what the probabilities are or what the data says. Right off the bat, within 1 day's time, you've got this person telling you that altcoins are getting ready to explode. And then you have the other person telling you that Bitcoin's getting ready to go down and needs a massive retracement. Here you have a very bullish thing, altcoin trades that you need to take now or that are getting ready to explode. Here you said you just missed your opportunity to buy. Here's the same person the day before saying, oh, you need to sell Bitcoin, you're gonna get wrecked on Bitcoin. Here's another one, the dump's not over. It's buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. You cannot listen to these people. There are a few accounts that I can recommend again at the end of this video that are good accounts, and you can at least put a little bit of weight into what they say. You cannot listen to these jokers. They're going to wreck you. Now here's another Twitter account. This account has been bearish at times where it made absolutely no sense to be bearish. This is on the opposite end of the spectrum. This account is pushing you towards lower lows and Bitcoin tanking and stuff like that. And they have been for a long time. And now they've almost become the laughing stock of Twitter, but they continue to post. We don't even know at this point if it's a joke, if it's a social experiment, but this account has been making terrible calls for the last year or two. But today, they actually made a call that I almost completely agree with. You can see right here, if we click on this, they've got 2 scenarios. Bitcoin going up to 50 to test the high again and dropping down to 30K, or Bitcoin going to 44, which this is my scenario, Bitcoin going to 44 down to 30K. That makes total sense. That's actually a really good plan, and that's good information to present to the audience. However, for the last 2 years, it's been Bitcoin down. You can see this massive red arrow, Bitcoin down, like this very aggressive drop. That is not realistic based off of where we are in the pre-halving cycle. But I have some good news. There are accounts on there, mostly not on YouTube, mostly they're just on Twitter. But here's one, Neste. Neste has just picked up a lot of steam on their account. Just a couple weeks ago, they only had a follower count of 8,000. But basically every call that they've made about this last year has been spot on, and they're giving you both bullish and bearish scenarios. Like, hey, the golden rejection is coming up here at 48,550. It's happened in every other crypto cycle. The probabilities are higher that that's what's going to happen. If Bitcoin closes a daily candle above 48,550, chances are that that's invalidated, and this is going to be the exception to that. That is the objective, data-driven, probabilistic standpoint that you need to listen to as a crypto investor. Most people in the space are trying to manipulate you. Here's another one. This is Fiboswani. Fiboswani does guest appearances on a couple of different YouTube channels occasionally, but is most active on Twitter. And he also has a paid service, I believe. But his entire trading is based upon an RSI threshold theory, which I can tell you works very well. I'm not going to tell you how well it works because I actually take his theory and I pair it with one of my own theories. And the success rate that I have on the Bitcoin one-day chart is very, very high, to the point where I won't even release what that combination of things is. But Fiboswani is a fantastic person. He's very underfollowed, he's very underappreciated, and this is a person that knows what they're doing. This is Magic Internet Money. Now, his trading style and his analysis style, part of it is time-based, and part of it is based off of other ways that I don't actually use or even really know how to use. His trading style and I are very, very different, but the interesting thing about it is we usually arrive at the same conclusion even though we take very different paths. If you want a total outcome-based scenario that is probabilistically high, Magic Internet Money is another great one. Another person that's very underappreciated. He only has 4,800 followers. I would recommend tuning in, and I think he has some sort of paid service as well, or maybe a Discord. I don't know what it is, but what he has on Twitter is enough for me for validation purposes on my own thoughts. And of course, you have this guy who posted on January 11th that $48,550 was going to be the Bitcoin golden rejection, as it always has been, and it went from 49,000 down to 39,000. I'll let you read and see who that is for yourself, but I would highly recommend following this individual as well. I am now also an ambassador for a couple of injective NFT projects. I'm enjoying doing that, as well as continuing to do what I've always done and trying to maximize this bull cycle. So if nothing else, what I would really like you to do is just do your research. Figure out who you're actually listening to, if what they're saying makes any sense whatsoever, and just consider probabilities. Don't consider bandwagon approaches, consider probabilities, because in the end, you're trading your own money, and the worst thing that you can do is losing money. It's great to gain money, it's bad to not gain money, but the worst thing you can do is lose money, because then you have to gain even more just to get it back. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave me a comment below. Thank you for coming by. We'll see you in the next video, and safe trading.